Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie, and I'm a preschool special education teacher in Connecticut. Today is Monday, March 30th, and it is our first official day of distance learning.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized.
Now, we've been doing stuff online for a little while now, but this was the first day that my kids had access to their emails, and we were able to do Google Meets and Google Classroom and all that stuff. So I wanted to give you a little update on that, and then talk to you a little bit about my plans moving forward. And yeah, here we go. So basically, my plan now is, okay, so I'll tell you this. So there was a lot of miscommunication going on at my school. We, as teachers, as preschool teachers, were not made aware of certain things. And, like the principal told us one thing, the special ed director told us another, this person said another thing, like the preschool person said a different. So we were just getting a lot of mixed signals from different people. So we just straight up said, tell us what the plan is now. So after all that, the new plan is we are not doing bingo boards. That was something that, we were really upset about because we thought that was a really good way to give our families options. But I'm not allowed to do bingo boards anymore. Instead, I have to post something each day. And so I guess we are allowed to take the activities that we would have put on our bingo boards, but rather than giving them one bingo board a week, I need to give them a couple of bingo squares each day. And the families can still choose between those, but I need to be sharing something every day with them. So that is my plan for now, is to do something every day. So I'll put in some clips here that I took for families that kind of show you how my Google Classroom is set up. Obviously, I can't show you everything because of the confidentiality of my students. I can't show you my student names and stuff like that, but I can show you some of the different activities that I've posted and kind of how I set it up. So I'll insert those clips here. And once you get to Google Meet, you'll see this kind of homepage. And over on this side here, you'll see any upcoming meetings that you have. So what I'll do is I'll send an invite out to everyone for all of our Google Meet sessions. So that means it'll pop up right here telling you that something's coming up. For me, I just opened up this test session here to kind of show you. So what you'll do is you'll click on the Meet session. So you'll be able to see what your camera looks like. So there I am. Hello. You'll be able to turn off your camera if you would like. You could turn off your microphone if you would like. And then what you'll do is you'll click this button right here. This is Join Now. Things under different topics. So you'll see our resources up at the top, our Zoo Week down below, read alouds, etc. So I've sort of set mine up in different categories that way. So you'll see this is the classroom. I have mine divided up by category. So you'll see that I have a Jungle Week category, a read aloud category, that sort of thing. We call those topics. Now, the goal for me as a teacher is really just to support my students. I know this is a really hard time for a lot of them, so I'm trying not to make it overwhelming. I'm doing everything that's required of me. I have to do a face-to-face every day. I have to, be keeping track of the work that they do, to keep track of their attendance and stuff. But I've tried to make it very clear to my families that I'm not, I don't want this to be stressful for them. So I want them to, play with their kids. You learn so much through play. Maybe I'll make a video while I'm home talking a little bit more about the research that I've done. But basically all the research out there shows that children learn so much through play. And my class, because it is an ABA classroom, we teach skills in isolation. We work one-on-one on basic concepts. And then the goal is that eventually my students will be able to take those concepts that they learn in a one-on-one setting and use them in play, use them in a larger group setting. So that's something that I've been telling my family is that, if I'm working one-on-one with your student matching colors, then play blocks with them and see if they can match the different colored blocks. Do laundry with them. See if they can sort the laundry before you put it in the wash. Like, can they put all the white clothes together, all the blue clothes together? So that's the kind of stuff that I really want to enforce. So you'll see, if you look at the lessons that I'm giving my families, if you look at the activities that I'm giving them, you'll see that a lot of them are basic life skills or learning through play, because that's how these kids are learning. And I don't want to have my 3-year-olds sit down and do a worksheet. That's just not what's best for them. Also, what's best for them at this point isn't a 20-minute circle with me over the computer. I was talking to a bunch of the teachers, and we were saying how we're not sure how circle is going to work. And one of the teachers at another school was saying that for her circle, like half of her kids aren't wearing pants, like they're jumping on the bed, like they're not really paying attention to her. So I know that it's not just me. But since today is Monday, we did have our first circle time. It was a mess, let me tell you. We had a hard time getting into it at first. A lot of people had a hard time logging in. I was asking them for a code. I'm pretty sure what happened is that they were logged in using their personal account and not using the student account, because I invited all of the students to our meeting using Google Calendar. So it should have popped up. So I think what was happening is that they were just not logged in properly. But I did get most people on the call. We did have a couple issues with microphones. I think because we had so many people on the call, it turned off some microphones. So I'm going to see if I can fix that. I did have all my paras on the call, which was awesome. I got to talk to them, and they were able to give me some ideas afterwards on some changes to make, because we definitely need to make some changes. But yeah. So I did 2 different circle times. I did a morning and an afternoon, because those are the sessions that I have. I have a morning session and an afternoon session when we're actually in school. So what I did for the morning, I ended up changing for the afternoon because I didn't like how it worked in the morning. I tried to do our basic circle time routine. So I just shared my screen with them and did our calendar and stuff, but that didn't really work because I couldn't see the kids while I was sharing my screen. And it was hard, and they couldn't hear my audio either. So I played a song for them, but they couldn't hear it. So I'm going to try and figure that out. But I think now I have a different plan. So after seeing all of that, in the afternoon, what I did is I did less of the screen. I did put the screen up for a little bit, but only briefly. And on the afternoon, I did have someone call in over the phone, so they couldn't see my screen. So, that wasn't really accessible for them. So I'm trying to figure out how to, make that better. But I shared a couple things, and it was just can you find, the letter that your name starts with? And I put the letters up, and they were able to find them. Or can you find a certain animal? And I put the pictures up. So with the morning, I tried to do a lot more. I just cut it down to 3 things in the afternoon. And then I just spent the rest of the time kind of talking with families. I had one mom who had gotten on the call early, so I was able to kind of talk to her a little bit more. There was another mom on the call who unfortunately was muted, so I couldn't hear her, and I was having a hard time explaining that to her. But it was nice for me to get to see the kids I told the families that, I would be around if they wanted one-on-one calls with me, if they, just needed some help figuring out activities for their kids, I'd be happy to do that for them. So yeah, but today I got another email from the district, and it was explaining that, so all of my students have IEPs. They have individualized education plans. And basically what that means is they receive special ed services, and they have a plan that kind of outlines all the different services that they get and all the different goals that they have to work on. So I still have to go and follow the IEP and address all those goals and everything. But some of the services that they get don't really work out when we're away from school. So we had to make up this plan, and we have the week to do it. We have to make up this plan that kind of shows what services we'll be giving our children. So for example, my students receive academic and behavioral support. That's just the nature of our classroom. That's one of the services that they get. And I need to kind of break that down and say, okay, I'm going to give them modified activities that are related to their goals and objectives. And I have to give them a 15-minute circle time every day. And it just kind of breaks down those things. I'm lucky enough that my district has gotten us Teach Town, which is an awesome website that has games, and it's basically DTI. Now, DTI is something that I do with my students in the classroom, and I was having a really hard time figuring out how to do that over the computer. So this website does it perfectly. So basically what it is it shows, let's say, for example, I've been talking about matching colors. So it'll show 2 colors up on the screen, and then it gives you a third one until it gives you another picture and tells you to match. And so you'll have to click on the one that matches. And so it does things in isolation, like I was talking about, those one-on-one skills, and then it keeps data for me, and then it gives me a report of how the child is doing. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited that I have that. So I was able to include that on the plan as one of the activities. I also have to offer one-on-one chats with the families to kind of give them some options. So yeah, it's definitely a lot to plan this all out. But now that I've done a day of it, I have a better idea of what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to do less of sharing my screen. I might do a couple just quick things. And then a lot of my students are working on copying actions. So whether that be a motor action or imitating a motor movement with an object. So for example, my kids are working on, when I say do this, they copy me. So if I say do this and clap my hands, their job is to then copy me and clap their hands. If I'm talking about an object, I might say, do this and push a car, a toy car, and then their job is to copy what I did and push the car. So that's a skill that a lot of my students are working on. It's very important for their communication to learn that. And so that's something that I think I'm going to work on in circle time. We're going to do a Simon Says type thing. And I'm going to see, how they do that. And then I can also kind of keep track. Our computer teacher sent us an extension for Chrome that we can use to see all the people in our Google Meet at once. So it's the Brady Bunch kind of thing where you can see everybody in a grid. So that's been really helpful. I just figured it out today. So hopefully I'll be able to see everybody, and then I can kind of keep track of things. Actually, what I might do is give each para a child to watch and have them mark down the data for me. Ooh, that might be helpful. I'm going to text them that. But yeah, so that's how today went. Hopefully tomorrow goes a bit better. I also have a meeting tomorrow that was supposed to be a PPT, but we're not holding PPTs anymore. But Mom still wanted to talk and just, get some ideas from me and talk to me a bit about what's going on at home. So yeah, I have that tomorrow. I think I'm going to see my mom tomorrow. I'm currently at my apartment, but I've also been spending some time with my family. So I think she's going to come over because I'm very lonely when I'm here all by myself. But yeah, that is how our first day went. And I guess I'll keep you updated as we go. Excuse me while I'm just over here crying. I just got a message from one of my moms saying that they baked cookies today. And, she was like, oh, he counted all the cookies and helped me with the timer. And she's like, and this is the first time that he was like able to wait for the cookies to bake and like didn't get upset. And I was like, oh, like I love that. Like I'm so happy because like waiting is so hard for my kids, right? So I was like, oh, you're gonna make me cry. And then she was like, yeah, and this morning he put his jacket on and went to the door and said, please, school. Like he just wants to go to school, and I'm crying. Like I feel so bad for these kids. Like, I know it's so hard for them to be home and they don't understand. Like, they don't get why they have to be home and why they can't see their friends and why their routine has changed. And I know it's so hard. And, like, I know it's hard for these families and they're trying their best. And, like, I miss my kids so much. And so, like, I miss these kids. And this is one that I haven't been able to video chat with much this week. I only got to like see him face to face once. So like I miss him, I miss these kids, and I'm just emotional. I'm an emotional person in general. And I've been home for 3 weeks and haven't seen these kids, so like I'm extra emotional. But like I miss them, and I'm so proud of them. Like they're doing awesome. Like, I know this is so tough, but they're hanging in there. Like, they're champions. And, like, I was talking to one mom today who was like, my other kids are home. I'm home. So, like, he thinks that this isn't a school day. So, like, I don't know how to get him to do his work and stuff. So, like, we set up time so I could, like, talk her through ideas. And, like, I have calls set up with a bunch of families to like give them ideas on like how to work with their kids and stuff, and like how to use a token board, because like that's not something they're used to at home, So there's going to be a lot of like parent education on my part now. Like I'm used to working with the kids, and working with families has always been harder for me. Like I get nervous talking to the families. But I think that it'll be really important, especially now because they're home. I think it's really important that I give these families those tools, So like we sent home the kids' communication books. We sent home token boards with everyone. There's one family that I sent home a schedule with. And then I posted a bunch of stuff today of like extra schedules and token boards and first then boards and all that kind of stuff. If you look at especially education's page, she has on her website, she has some really awesome free resources like for families with token board type stuff and like first then boards, all those kinds of things, schedules. And so those are, some of the things like that I shared with families. But yeah, I miss my families. I'm emotional. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, also today is Autism Day. It's like Autism Awareness Day, or as a lot of people prefer to call it, Autism Acceptance Day. And most of my kids have autism. That's just the nature of being an ABA room. So I was sharing all these things like the book We're Amazing 123. That's the book that Julia was first introduced into the world of Sesame Street. And Julia is a character with autism. She's a female character with autism, which, it's so hard to find good representation of females with autism. Most of the research done is done on young boys. And it looks different in these populations, And autism looks different for everyone. So, Julia's story isn't, the same as everyone out there with autism, but it's such a good representation of a lot of people. And I see a lot of the stuff that my kids experience in her story. So I shared that book with families today. We also shared puzzle pieces to color that, the class will all put together and stuff. And then, so I have a whole bunch of books that I want to read, and books I got from the library. But instead, I'm going to read this book that I've had on my shelf for a while. It's called Autism in Heels, and I'm super excited about it, again, because it's hard to find good, research out there on women with autism. And this is the untold story of a female life on the spectrum. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited because it was 20% off when I bought it. And I bought it from my local bookstore, which I love supporting small businesses, especially this bookstore, because it's fabulous. But yeah, I'm excited for this book. I'm wearing blue for Autism Day. And yeah, I just wanted to, tell you that because I'm an emotional wreck now. But yeah, I miss my kids. I'm going to read a cool book. That's the update for now. Good morning! What are you doing? Are you hiding from me? So here is my little classroom. I have my sign there with my name on it. I have my bookshelf. I've taken a lot of books off, and I'm in the process of reorganizing, but there's my bookshelf. I have my computer here. Random paper on the ground. Yeah, this is my little setup for now. I'm doing live sessions here. I'm doing little, phone calls with families here. Yeah, this is my setup. This is where I sit. And so it's almost 10. I have a little break until 11. Then I have another meeting. Then I have a meeting at 11:45. Then I have class at 1. Then I have a meeting at 1:30. So it's going to be a busy day. But we're hanging in. Yeah. I don't know. This is a whole lot for families, I know. So I'm trying my best to help them out in any way I can. So we have a couple meetings today to kind of help out. Give them some ideas, some strategies to help with their kids. So that is our plan for today. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did before I left school, so I would have some information with me. So this is one particular child's DTI update sheet, is what I called it. And so basically I wrote down each of the programs that they're working on, like motor imitation and actions with objects. And, I wrote down what we say, what's expected of them, their response. And then we wrote down all of the targets that we've worked on. So for motor imitation, this child would be asked to do this and then copy the action the teacher does. So he has previously mastered tap table. He's currently working on clap hands, and then the next target is cover face. So this is just a quick way for me to take a look at what we've worked on, and that kind of helps me plan for what I'm going to do moving forward. This was just a way for me to kind of have this information on hand. And and on like one sheet of paper versus flipping through our entire DTI binder for each child. So this was just a really good way, I feel like, for me to kind of have this information all together in one place. So that's one thing that I brought home. I don't know. Those are the things that I've been working with. It's really hard to kind of plan for DTI stuff. So I'm lucky enough that I have access to TeachTown, which does a lot of these things, not necessarily the motor actions, but some of like our matching stuff. It'll do that over the computer in like a computer game format. So that's pretty cool. Those are the things that I've been working with, and we're trying to figure out how to turn these things into computer lessons, because it's really hard to get a child to copy you over the computer. As I've seen, we've kind of played a little Simon Says game during circle time, where I try and get them to do things like clap hands or tap the table, put their arms up, that sort of stuff. And it's a lot harder for them to do it over the computer than it is in person. So I'm kind of doing a little like mini training for my families on how to do that. I think one of the things that I'll do also is I will share videos of myself doing these activities so they can kind of see what it looks like, So I just had a call with one of my kids. We did a video call just to kind of check in. Wanted to, say hi. And then I also answered some questions for Mom. So that was really exciting. I love getting to talk to my kids. I miss them so much. So it's really nice to get to have conversation with them, as much as they're able to, and just kind of check in and let them know that everything's okay, see how they're doing. So that was really nice. And now I have about 15 more minutes, 20 minutes until my next call, which will be not only with me, but also with our speech pathologist and our psychologist. And, we'll talk to another family and help give them some ideas of what to do, how to get their child to sit and do the work. My kids have a really hard time sitting still, so teaching her how to use the token board and stuff like that, I think will be really helpful for them. We're all getting on a call with another family again later on this afternoon to do the same sort of thing. So yeah, it'll be a fun time. I'm gonna grab a quick snack, I think, and then get on this next phone call. Here's another view of my teaching space. I have my calendar down there, some books that I was using, some papers, and then I have my computer on top of a box and a box. I have a big pillow down there to sit on because I couldn't find my floor pillow, and I got tired of sitting on the hard ground, so I got a pillow. My bookcase, again, I've been kind of rearranging books, and then I have my signs on top of another box in the background. So the families see kind of like that. So, yeah, that is my setup.